Hello from New York City. I'm Nadia. This is the rundown. Filled with the sounds of New York City. She beautifies spaces like no one I've ever seen before. Favorite thing about New York? Not that. Let's go. You can't talk about the Lower East Side without mentioning Lee Quinones, the iconic street artist back in his day. Covered something like 124 subway trains. Hello! You can see the outline of the Allen Boys, which is a very famous piece that he did back in 1982, where the band came to celebrate Mick Jagger's 29th birthday on the rooftop. The New York Times did a write-up about it, and they...
Hello!
Hi! It's not open, it's only open in the afternoon. Hi! I'm an Iron Woman, yes. Who likes ice cream? They make good ice cream here. I've actually never been here before.
Well, this is how it works.
How does it work?
You go right up to that counter.
Tell me how it works.
You go right up to that counter.
Yes.
The cutter's in the middle.
Yes.
And you tell them you want the biggest sandwich in Cats.
The biggest one?
Pastrami. All that running you did, you need to refuel yourself.
Are you here to get a bagel? The rainbow one? It's not an ice cream sandwich.
Actually, no. Ours is more thin and more crispy.
In the name of dessert food trends in New York City, I am eating this on a very cold day.
Oh, good morning.
Yay, Staten Island!
Welcome to Staten Island. I love the shirt.
Queens has the most cemeteries out of the boroughs. If you die in New York, that's where you're going to be buried.
Well, at least I know you'd be running around my grave then.
Yeah.
This is Crown Heights, yeah. This is one of my favorite running routes on the weekend if I'm running by myself.
This is a way better park than Central Park.
Oh, wait, no. We have to have a bit of a disagreement there.
No, this is the park.
I'm a Central Park gal.
Nah, Prospect Park rules. I'll tell you why. This park was designed by Olmsted and Bull.
As for Central Park?
I know. But here's the thing. They did this one second, because the second one is always better. And it's in Brooklyn.
This is Harlem Hospital, and my dad works for over 25 years.
What kind of doctor was he?
My dad was an emergency room doctor.
Okay.
So he had like the most horrific stories of like shootings and people falling in the train tracks. And we would be at dinner and that's when he would be telling these stories.
So we're not trying to make the city a museum and say every store has to remain exactly the way it is today.
Yeah.
No, we expect change. New York is always about change. But we don't want a mom and pop store replaced by a chain store.
Unfortunately, this week began with the very sad news of the passing of David Bowie. The names of the 49 people who died in the Orlando club shooting.
Everything all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I'm doing a run to LGBT sites.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you go to the one on 13th Street already? The community center.
And there it is, 415 Monroe Street. The house doesn't exist here anymore because...
What's this or something? Where's Frank Sinatra fans? Did you go partake in Hudson yet?
No, what's there? The museum? Oh, yes.
He owns the property over there.
Oh. Did you ever meet him?
Oh, sure.
Frank Sinatra? Thank you. I'll go past the museum. He, of course, changed the way we think of street photography and fashion photography. Interacting with the streets is what Phil Cunningham did best, so I guess that's going to be par for the course. Her first hit single, which she recorded over here, 1841 Broadway. Used to be Atlantic Studios. Long time ago. This is where Aretha Franklin recorded Respect.
Really? Oh, then this is a... Oh, that's great.
I just thought I'd share that with you.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Bye! What you want? She used to work here at the Amish market.
I hired her. You Google Cardi B Amish Market, you see her in the store.
That's why I came here. Scorsese also used the Copacabana in Raging Bull, and of course Barry Manilow wrote that song about it. But the original is no longer here. It's in Times Square. At the Copacabana. What's more iconic than the Brooklyn Bridge? And Jay-Z has given us so many iconic tracks. Might just have to stop for a moment. So many iconic tracks on running this town. Built in 1869 Took 14 years to finish. Look how beautiful it is. Always. And people. This is where Mandela came and he was wearing the Yankee jacket. He said, "You know who I am. I'm a Yankee." And there she is. For over 7 decades. In 1931, construction workers who used to work on the site pooled all their money together to buy a tree. And then they would collect their paychecks underneath that tree. Isn't that just jolly? The most important location, Pop's Barbershop. Just picture the sign there. They actually had the choice of using a real barbershop in the West Village, but showrunner Chio Coker said he didn't want that. He wanted to keep the show in Harlem as much as possible to film up here. It's where we first introduced to Luke Cage. It's called Dissension. There we go. Ta-da! Detail is incredible. It's all glass mosaic, and so this is Vic Muniz's exhibition, public art installation called Perfect Strangers. We basically all are in New York.